Welcome to Tea Time, the only video game show that answers the questions nobody cared enough to ask. This week's show is brought to you by Cockroach Milk, for when you want that protein but also want to puke up your last meal. Now hopefully you haven't thrown up yet, because this week's show is another celebration. Last episode we talked about the 1-year anniversary of Rocket League, and this time we're talking about the 15-year anniversary of Final Fantasy X. Now I'm just going to throw this out there right now, Final Fantasy X is my favorite of the series. So, alright, I have a lot to talk about with Final Fantasy X, but I can't do it without my trusty guest. So please welcome the star of Final Fantasy X, you love him or you hate him, it's Tidus. Thank you so much for being here, Tidus. I know you had to travel just forever to get here. It's a shame we don't have a private airship, am I right? Okay, well I didn't think it was that funny, but let's talk about Final Fantasy X. Let's start with combat. Most RPGs, including most Final Fantasy games, have a 4-person party. FF10 limits you to just 3. But the thing is, you can swap out party members on the fly. If you need to heal, you can bring in Yuna like that. If you need to deal some serious damage, you can swap her back out with Auron. Everyone has their favorite group of 3, but you have 7 total characters you can swap between. And thanks to the turn order in the corner of the screen, you won't ever be confused as to who gets to attack next amidst all that swapping. Oh, I should point out that I'm not going to be talking about blitzball in this episode. I just don't find a sport that's half water polo, half football, and half co-op to be very fun. Sorry, Tidus. He'll get over it. But what I do find fun about Final Fantasy X is leveling up. A lot of people hate on the sphere grid, which is basically an enormous skill tree that you can fill out as you level up. You can get more health, attack, defense, whatever, and a bunch of spots unlock new spells and abilities. But the best part is that the sphere grid is shared by everybody. So that means you're not just stuck with a healer or a rogue or a warrior, you can hybridize characters the way you want. And if you grind long enough, you can unlock every single ability for every single character. So if you want a team of superpowered bards, you can totally do that. Okay, once again, not very funny. Starting to think those laughs aren't genuine. He's very sensitive. But speaking of whiny pretty boys, let's talk about the characters. People like to make fun of Tidus, but let's look at the facts. He disappears from his homeland, wakes up in a totally new world with 0 friends or family, learns that he's not even a real person, then finally finds his dad, who's become the very evil force he set out to stop. Suck on that, My Chemical Romance. Some people have real problems. Then there's Yuna, who's got the classic problem of being told what to do and where to go her whole life. Wakka's got that terrible accent.
Oh, not that you know.
Plus his brother died, so that really sucks. Lulu was supposed to marry that guy, so she's pretty bummed out too. Kimahri was literally rejected by his entire race. Auron's basically a zombie, and Rikku, well, I guess she really doesn't have that many problems. Oh, except for her entire race being hated. Why am I only talking about the angsty part of these characters? Probably so I can make another joke about how real-life emo kids are a bunch of pussies. Anyway, the point is that none of these characters are one-dimensional. Anyone who's mopey has a reason for being that way, and nobody stays that way either. Wakka and Lulu get together, Tidus accepts his fate, Kimahri proves himself to his tribe, Rikku decides to wear less clothes in the sequel. Progress. But the main reason I love Final Fantasy X boils down to one thing: unity. Now what do I mean by that? Oh hey, whoa, stop, we already did the intro. Here's what I mean. Final Fantasy X is all about opposing forces. First, there's science versus religion. You've got all these temples where Yuna has to pray and seek wisdom to defeat sin. Then you've got these ancient machines called Machina, which were built to fight the same creature. Also, his name is Sin. That's pretty on the nose. Second, there's man versus machine. It's kind of in line with the whole Machina thing. The machines are forbidden, and most people are afraid of them, except for Riku's people, the Al Bhed. And that just creates another rivalry. Also, 2 worlds literally collided, which is why Tidus ends up there in the first place. There are a bunch more metaphors, but I'm gonna cut to the chase. The one thing that trumps all is love. Tidus and Yuna fall for each other because 1 + 1 = 2, and the sky is blue, and this is a JRPG. But you take that romance, plus the strained but still loving relationship between Tidus and his father, plus all the deep friendships formed over the course of the game, and you finally defeat Sin. The one thing that saves the world is love, compassion, caring for one another, tolerance. And in today's world full of hatred and rivalry and bigotry and having to choose sides all the time, isn't that what life is all about?
Please Google Gary Johnson.
Hey, whoa, who brought politics into this? This is a nonpartisan show. Unlike Blitzball, where both teams always suck. Okay, I think I've beaten up on this guy enough. Give it up for Tidus, everybody. So that's my answer. That's why I love Final Fantasy X. Now I should probably address the scantily clad elephant in the room. 10-2 really sucks. Active time battles are fun, but not like this. Not like this. But thank you all very much for watching. Please go to Laser Time and check out the podcasts and videos and articles and all sorts of fun stuff we do. Really appreciate you watching and all of the comments. See you next time. Go play some video games.